Sebastian and Orlix are back, but this time on Breeze. Since the last time we checked in, Sebastian's gone from Bronze 1 to Bronze 2, and Orlix has gone from Bronze 2 to Silver 2. So now, we're in a mostly Silver lobby. The other big update is I've convinced Sebastian to step off the Omen and pick up Phoenix as his main. Orlix today is running Chamber. Starting on attack, our Gecko is still in spawn, desperately waiting for the AFK Reyna to drop him the spike. They sit there for so long, the enemy Yoru pushes all the way through A main and shoots them both down to less than 50 HP each. They barely manage to escape before Reyna finally gives over the spike. Sebastian walks up elbow and hits a very clean headshot on the Sage. He then checks flank and does spot Vito, but he's a little too impatient to wait for the headshot, which ends up biting him in the face with a classic. Back to Orlix, who spots Astra back sight, kills the Fade Tuck emo, TPs away, sees Astra again back sight, and then walks knife out with the spike into said Astra, who's unsurprisingly still there. Thankfully, Reyna and Omen still give us the pistol. Round 2, we hit A pretty decently. Plant goes down, Orlix close range snipes the Vito, and then medium range snipes the Fade. Sebastian is on site with a Marshall holding CT, and we win the round with 4 alive. For the bonus, we go back to A again. Yoru sends his clone main, Orlix pops it with his Outlaw getting full blinded, but Sebastian and Reyna playing anti-flash swing main to keep the space. Yoru flashes main, which full blinds pretty much everybody, but then TPs away because he's just here to send a message, not to get a free kill. It's not enough to stop us though, because we're running forward. However, Sebastian swings into a new angle while stunned, and Orlix gets the luckiest random Outlaw shot through a smoke. And then Omen does everything else by himself. Round 4, we head back over to B. Astra smokes us out main, but Omen smokes close left so Sebastian can sneak into it. He flashes out, which full blinds Fade, and crouch sprays his way to victory. Now he's deep in enemy lines, but his whole team refuses to join him. Astra is scaring them back with her Bucky shots into the smoke. Eventually, Reyna blinds out, which doesn't actually blind anything because it's literally behind the Astra, and demonstrates her superior gunplay. However, this is what was needed to get the rest of the team on site. Sebastian gets another pick back sight onto the Sage, Wingman plants the spike, and then Sebastian chooses to stand still and ADS on the Vito coming from mid. Gecko trades him from the same spot, and then Yoru decides it would be epic to dry TP straight into Gecko's crosshair. Round 5, we go A once again. Yoru flashes out again, this time actually fighting forward with Astra. Sebastian crouch sprays Astra to scare her away, before Orlix does some wild chamber shit and kills Yoru. Next, the team enters site, but Orlix really wants to use his Headhunter instead of his Vandal. His indecision, along with a well-placed Fade Haunt, ends up being his demise. Because of that, his flank trip goes offline. Sebastian recognizes that this could be a problem and checks flank, but he's caught off guard by Sage since he didn't actually expect to be right. This round was interesting to me because the Senti Duelist duo chose to have the weakened chamber with no TP entry and have the Phoenix with ult holding flank. However, we're still up 4-1, so who really cares? Round 6, B again. Sebastian pops his ult to get the team on site, and tries to find the route that will guarantee the least value out of his ult possible, which he does successfully find. However, nobody is holding his body from the elbow push, and Sage takes advantage of that. Oh, we're not holding him, we're just gonna keep pushing? Oh, we're gonna crouch spray while moving. Sebastian narrowly dodges death thanks to our Gecko, but he's not out of hot water yet. While all of this was happening, Yoru popped his ult and cleared all of A. He's already close flank. And because Orlix cares more about his trip not dying than getting any useful info, Yoru also has a line on Sebastian. In another stroke of luck, Yoru bought a judge, so he had to use his classic, which even with a headshot wasn't enough to kill Sebastian. To make up for almost getting him killed, Orlix kills Yoru with his op. Sebastian gets on site, but I think he forgets he can heal himself. Instead, he once again ADS's, but this time gets Veto. Orlix takes back his TP, which makes sense since he just used it, but then he also takes his trip back for some reason, so now he's forced to split his attention between elbow and the same place his trip was just covering. Which ends up working out, since he does find the Astra flanking. Round 7, we go back to A. Sebastian panic crouch sprays Yoru, Astra stuns the choke, but Sebastian expertly dodges it before going on through. He decides halfway that he doesn't want to enter the rest of the way onto site, and tucks into bricks. Eventually he's reminded they're still not actually on site yet, and tries pushing forward. But he doesn't realize his Omen threw a shit smoke that fully exposes him to the Veto from double door. Over in mid, Sage walls so she can cross over to double doors, but accidentally leaves a small gap. Perfect for Orlix to exploit with his op. Oh, okay. Not quite. Yo, everyone rotates to B, and Omen gets the plant. Orlix decides to go window, but Astra is going elbow at the same time. Thankfully, he doesn't panic, and demonstrates his superior gunplay. Now 5-2. Round 8, Reyna is AFK again, but this time for the whole round. We start A main, and Yoru throws his clone again. Orlick snipes the hell out of it again. Omen smokes sight, and then makes the ballsiest play of all time and ults onto B for a plant, which works out because somehow literally nobody is there. Sebastian is the first of his team to make it over to B and throws an excellent molly into tunnel to buy more time for his team to get into position. He then gets another ADS kill on Vito, who's not looking for him, but then gets traded because he's still ADSing and now Fade knows where he is. We take the round regardless, up 6-2. Round 9, Reyna is still AFK, so it's now a 4v5. However, Sebastian takes the ult torb to at least get his run it back online, which kinda brings it back into a 5v5. We go back B again, Sebastian ults in the same spot as the last time, and crouch sprays Fade to death. But before she dies, she had the time to throw her C's at him so he can't push forward farther with his ult. Gecko sends Wingman to plant, Orlix gets a kill from window, his trip goes off, and next, his brain goes off, I guess? Sebastian is an elbow though, so he trades out Orlix. But because he must crouch when he's shooting his Vandal, Astra and Yoru break his ankles, which isn't enough to win the round, but it is enough to grab the op and Vandal before saving. Up 7-2. Round 10, 4 of us go mid, Sebastian goes A main. Astra places a really aggressive star deep A, Sebastian flashes to bait it out, but then runs straight into it instead of dodging the stun. He then ADSs on the angle, and Astra takes a fat dump on him. Back over in mid, Orlick snipes a rotating Yoru, and saves Gecko by hitting a micro flick on Astra. They go B, Wingman plants, Sage walls off Orlix who's playing ladder, but doesn't check for Gecko on the other side. Now 8-2. Round 11, 3 of us start B, but Omen picks up the spike and goes A, which Gecko doesn't like. Eventually, Gecko's tired of asking for it and leaves. Right when he does, Omen throws the spike A and goes back to B. Gecko realizes, has to go back for it, and run all the way back to the team. Just saying, I'd be very upset if I was that Gecko. When the round starts, Sebastian's worried he'll get pinched by the barrier, so he makes sure to steer very clear of it. Reyna does not fear, and runs into elbow to get a pick on Sage. Orlick snipes Fade from the window, Reyna pops ult and runs into a Yoru kill. She then dismisses forward into tunnel, and shoots Vito in the back. Wingman plants, Sebastian finds the Astra rotating from A through mid, but doesn't take the free fight. This is not because he's too scared, but because he's trying to be a good teammate and wants Reyna to get the 4K, which she does. Up 9-2. Final round of the half, we start A main, where as per usual, Yoru and Astra are contesting. Orlix trades our Omen for the Astra, before getting traded himself by the Yoru unulting flank. Now, a 3v3, Sebastian picks up the op from Orlix, and they rotate back to B. On the way, Sebastian shuts down the Vito in mid, bringing it to a 3v2. Not for long though, since as they're rotating, Sage revives Astra, bringing it back into a 3v3. Wingman plants on B, and Sebastian goes window for his op, which I don't really like because Astra still has both smokes and her ultimate, which she'll surely use since it's the last round of the half. Gecko kills the flanking Sage, Astra predictably does, wall B main, and Gecko ults, but it's instantly shot. Sebastian wants to play for mollying the bomb since we have his, plus the Gecko molly, but Reyna and Gecko just double flash out and go 1 for 2, putting Sebastian in a 1v1, but kind of an awkward one because he still has his operator. Fade ults him, so now he can't hear what's happening on the other side of the cosmic divide. Sebastian flashes once through the wall to get Fade off, and flashes a second time for the hell of it. Fade has no chance, bomb explodes, 10-2 at the half. The second pistol, Sebastian and Orlix play A, but the enemies go B. Yoru dry TP's half wall and gets 2, like the goat he is. Gecko gets him, and this is when Sebastian and his Sheriff enter the fray. He spots Vito, who he one taps. Finally, Astra, who he also one taps. And then, Orlix steals the defuse from Sebastian because he deserves it. Now, up 11-2. For the eco, Sebastian and Orlix start A again, but the enemies go B again. Sebastian comes in from CT and gets a nice long-range Spectre kill on Vito. Orlix breaks the Vito TP in case he comes back from the dead and tries to use it, then snipes the Astra on sight. He hears Fade close right and purposely does some weird shit to draw her attention, which lets Sebastian crush spray her in the side, just like how we drew it up in the books. Now, up 12-2. On the bonus, they finally come A where we are waiting. Sebastian ults them to try and get an early pick. Orlix walks straight into an Astra stun and gets put down by Fade. Sebastian flashes and swings to try and trade, but swings before his gun is out. It would have been so sick if he mollied and flashed again, because I think he could legit have roasted 3 of them alive off that. Instead, Fade deals with his ult. Somehow, the Fade dog that was clearly chasing Gecko ends up blinding Sebastian, and Yoru TP's behind him for the kill. 12-3. Round 16, for the 4th round in a row, Sebastian and Orlix start A. They go B. By the time we get there, it's now a 2v5. Orlix gets Astra with his headhunter in mid, then die. Now, Sebastian is in a 1v4 with only a classic because for some reason, we decided to buy up on the bonus round. Short story short, it's now 12-4. Round 17, Sebastian starts A again, but this time, Orlix actually changes things. He buys an Outlaw and plays in Nest. Right when Sebastian is about to leave A, he realizes they're actually coming here and walks back. He then gets a kill while crouch spraying, which confirms the crouch spray meta, so he tries again on the Astra. Okay, Astra just has radiant movement, that's not his fault. Over in mid, Orlix doesn't like the outlaw he bought, so he decides to use his headhunter, which I don't personally get, but it's Pride Month, so it's not my place to tell him what's what. Back to Sebastian, check out this insane one tap. Actually, this is the second time he doesn't crouch spray or ADS the whole game, just saying. He didn't really like it though, so he went back to crouch spraying on Astra. Now in a 1v1, Sebastian mollies left side of main and tries to stick it to half. Replay doesn't have comms, but I can only imagine at this point Orlix is telling Sebastian that Sage was last seen mid with an AWP. Oh dang, he's trying to stick it all the way. Okay, so I was wrong. Orlix did not tell his duo any info at all. 12-5. Round 18, it's time to make a change, so we're just gonna gamble stack B. Sebastian is going to ult off rip, and even crouch spray with his Guardian. Orlix gets his one before Yoru's flash confuses him. Sebastian ADS's and whiffs on Yoru, who's just there to mock him. He then intentionally sidesteps Sage's op, sees Yoru throw a clone, but shoots the clone anyways because he doesn't mess with that. Next, he ADS's and whiffs on the Sage, which should be a free kill since she literally cannot see him. Finally, Yoru ends my suffering as the spectator here. 12-6. Round 19, the attackers go heavy mid and poke A a little bit. A single prowler from Fade is all it takes to draw the rotates. They go B and Yoru swings CT alone, gifting a kill to Sebastian. Sebastian flashes out past the Cosmic Divide, but because he went right instead of left, with so many angles to clear, he doesn't suspect Astra half wall. Same with Orlix. Now, 12-7, this comeback is looking very real. Round 20, Sebastian is back on A, which is where the action is headed. Yoru dry TPs onto site, Sebastian crouch sprays him to death, they go B. Sebastian comes from CT and isn't ready for Astra to be in the exact same spot she was last round. Orlix gets the trade, Wingman gets on Spike, Sage collaterals Reyna and Orlix with her op from window, but it doesn't matter because the defuse goes through. GG's, 13-7. Sebastian, if you're watching this video, I'm liking the Phoenix way more than Omen, but I've got a couple things that you should know for this agent. A Phoenix molly lasts 4 seconds. If you ping somewhere 25 meters away and stationary jump throw, that's where it lands. The sound radius of your minimap is about the distance of a running jump throw of your molly, so you can use that to help you gauge distance too. For your flashes, I notice sometimes you turn the direction you throw the flash, like this. You don't really need to do that, it kind of just screws up the crosshair placement. Instead, if you want to get creative, I recommend varying the height that you throw the flash at, so you can throw it lower, or you can throw it higher. You can also try flashing left if you're swinging right, so it pops behind you and you can never accidentally blind yourself. For your walls, I only ever see you throw them straight. If you hold mouse 1 and you twist your mouse, the wall actually curves. For your ult to squeeze out a little bit more juice, right when it expires, you can jump and try to use your third-person camera to see around corners and get more info. Speaking of your ult, you probably know that the wall heals you and the molly heals you, but if you're low HP, pop your ult and then it expires or you die in the ult, you'll actually go back up to 100 HP. My final bits, please stop ADSing, please stop crouch spraying, do some DMs, I'm liking that you're using the Sheriff on pistols, I love you, goodbye.